So I got a little project I'm going to start working on. I been reading about putting Grand Cherokee or Grand Cherokee ZJ, specifically the model, seats, rear seat, into my 99 XJ. And the main reason is because of those right there, and I think they're more comfortable, and I'm going to also get a 60/40 split, which I don't get with the stock seat. The kids complain it's uncomfortable, and it does limit you not being able to have that 60/40 split. So I'm going to document putting these seats in the back of the Jeep. We'll see how it goes. I've read that I got to do a little cutting, but it should fit otherwise.
So I got a little bit lazy with the camera, and so I'm just going to record over some of the photos we have here and talk about what you do first. The first thing you're going to do is install the seat backs, which require actually no alteration at all. You just bolt them in, and you have to just position them, and you'll kind of see a channel where the plate for the back seat fits in, and you can see it kind of matches up to the back. When it closes down, there is kind of like about a 1-inch gap, which it's up a little bit, but I could probably put it lower, but it seemed where I drilled the holes and put it in seemed to be a good spot. You can play around with it when you install it, but so the first thing would be to install the seat backs first, and then we'll move to the bottom bucket seats.
So you have to trim the bottom seat so that it will fit around the hump in the Jeep, and I'll take a picture of that later. And then once you get that trimmed and fit, then you cut the foam, and then we'll be stretching the fabric back around to make it tight again. Here's the other seat trimmed. So you take this off, you can see you take this off of the base, and then you use this plastic piece, sorry about moving the camera there, use the plastic piece as a fit guide to cut around that piece right there. I had to trim the length as well. So, and then once you get that, I'm going to cut the foam, contour it, and then I'll drill some holes up in here where these things will reinsert, and they stretch that fabric over it, and it should work pretty good.
Okay, to elaborate just a little bit more, you're going to trim 1 inch of the seat in the back, and then on the kind of corner there where the wheel well is, and just trial and error, cut and try to see how it fits. And once you get it where you want it, then you're going to trim the foam, and I used a bandsaw for this. And then I drilled some holes in the plastic to stretch the material over and reinsert the plastic clips in there.
So here's the first one I did. I take the seat back here. You can see it's bolts in the bottom here. You got the bolts in there. Got the center one there, and then it bolts on the other side over there, which you can't see it's because it's hidden. But what you're trying to do is make it easy there with the camera there, is to contour this so that when it closes, it fits in here. I cut a little bit too much on this one, but you don't even notice it when you're sitting in it. You do sit a little bit higher, but we're all short in our house, so no big deal. So I'm just going to finish working on the other side.
So I'm showing some just pictures of, here's the bolts for the back seat, and then here's the seat installed. It has a center console that kind of pops down, which is good, and here it is in the back. As you can see, the picture in the back, when you fold those seats flat, it's not perfectly flat with the floor. It sticks up about 1 inch, which no big deal to me. You might be able to get it better, but I didn't have a problem with it. So would I do this again? You bet. Yeah, you can see a picture here of the elbow rest folded down, which is great. If the seats are too high for you, which I could see it easily being too tall, where you'd actually hit your head when you're sitting inside, you can trim the bottom of the phone about 2 or even 3 inches horizontally across the whole base of the seat. I actually did that. Otherwise, it was a little bit too tall, and it definitely made a difference. From a comfort standpoint, there's no change, but you don't feel like you're hitting your head. So if you have somebody who's pretty tall, you're definitely going to want to trim that out. I was fortunate enough to pick these seats up at a junkyard for $35. So hopefully you can find something in your area that's in great shape. It seems like the rear seats are always in pretty decent shape. It's the front seats that are thrashed. So